Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. It's Thriving Thursday. Today is April 9th, and today our trainer is Wanda Carrasquillo. Wanda is a wonderful individual who I've gotten to know a little bit over the last couple of years, and I really look forward to getting to know her more and more. What she's done with this opportunity with Renatus is absolutely incredible, very, very inspiring. And I'm just very, very grateful that we get to learn from Wanda every Thursday. She's been sharing with us a lot of really powerful ideas around mindset and personal development, which is a foundational piece of who we are and how successful we are. A little bit of Wanda's history before Renatus. Well, she was born in Puerto Rico and she earned herself 2 master's degrees in education, despite many life challenges. In her career, she succeeded in many ways, only to an extent to where she would hit a ceiling every time she attempted to reach higher. She spent most of her time trading hours for dollars. I think a lot of us can relate with that. On the side, Wanda was always looking for business opportunities. She definitely has an entrepreneurial spirit, and that shows with what she's been able to do with Renatus. At the time, though, she was never really able to accomplish any of those attempts. 3 years ago is when Wanda found Renatus. We might have to update that. Has it been longer, Wanda? You'll have to let us know. And Wanda has now exceeded her income goals in less time and effort. In her first 8 months alone, Wanda earned herself 6 figures and has continued to do so each and every year after. She's completed around 20 real estate transactions. She is on the PIT team, meaning she's a President's Advisory Council member in training. And since Renatus, she's built a large team of entrepreneurs, and it allows them to succeed as she has. So she's sharing what she has accomplished, and that's just so awesome that we get to do that with this company. So without any further ado, welcome, Wanda. Good morning. Grateful to have you here with us.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Keely? Thank you for that introduction. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfect.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I just kind of checking my audio here. Well, guys, I have a great training for you today, and I'm going to share my screen because I was so prepared that I put the presentation together. So let me share my screen here. And okay, so this is what we have. And I asked Kelly this morning to share this code with you because as we grow our businesses and as we continue on, we want to be an influence. And when you do something, you just want to influence people. So I found this code from John C. Maxwell that says, leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. So basically, you are here in this business, you are a leader. You have to consider yourself a leader in this business. And there are 4 different money-making activities. These are the things that you need to do. It's really, really, really simple. This business is simple. You just need to see the people, tell the story, build for events, and follow up. See the people, tell the story. So today I'm going to cover see the people, but I'm going to cover it from the perspective of professional development and personal development, okay? And in that, basically, when you see the people, you need to see yourself as the circle of influence. What is the influence? What are the influence that you're going to have around everybody in the world? That's how we're going to go. And that's going to start with you, with yourself. And you got, and your BS, remember Woody on Natural, he said BS. BS is really your belief system and your mindset. So your fear of influence starts from you out, not from everybody else outside and into you, but from you outside to the world. And now that we have Celerios and that we have the new prophets courses, we have to start being an influence around the world, not only here in United States, not only within your circle of influence, but we're going to expand our circle of influence around the world. And however you connect with God, and I mention God because that's what I believe, but whatever you believe, that's what I said, your mindset. If you want to believe in a tree, perfect. But connect to that higher being or with whomever you believe in that makes you feel better about yourself. And start reading the good books and start doing things that you will feed your mind to something higher, to something better, because that's where everything starts, right here in your brain. Okay, so forget, you start eliminating those belief systems out of you that limits you, because there are no limits. Like I always said, there's a say that said, oh, the sky is the limit. No, really, there's no limit. So if you in your brain have something that is telling you, oh, I'm just reaching the stars, I just reaching the sky. No, there's no limit. Take those away from your perspective, because there's no limit. So connect and change your mindset. That's the first part of your influence, of a fear of influence. Then you're going to have your immediate family. The second level of your influence is your immediate family. And that's when we're going to start seeing the people. So you start seeing the people within yourself. You believe in yourself. You believe in the four core values. That everything, the second one, Renatos, is for everybody. Okay? When you see that, then you start looking at your immediate family. And don't be afraid to say what you do. Like yesterday, I have an opportunity to talk to one of my cousins, and I'm like, "Oh, would you like to meet with me so I can tell you what I do?" And she didn't respond. I said, "Okay, it's her loss." So when you have the four core beliefs within your mind and from your mind to your heart, well, maybe she didn't look at the message or maybe whatever. But whatever she decides to do is her loss if she wants to hear or not. I'm just want to show it. I'm just going to have her look at it. Then you start expanding yourself from yourself, your family members, and your close family. And that's where you start entering the circle of influence, right? You start having that inner circle within your friends, the ones that you can call anytime at night and they will be there for you. Those are close friends. Then you expand a little bit more to your acquaintance. And that's your network. Everybody that you know that is if it's working with you before or after or went to school with you, you know them. You don't have this relationship that close to you, but they're there. If you call them and they're gonna, hey, hi, and you can just chit chat about where you've been. And then you have the strangers. Guys, there are 7.6 billion people in the world. 7.6 billion people in the world. And if we go by the core beliefs and we said Renatus is the best income opportunity in the world, in the nation. We normally say in the nation, now I change it to the world. Honestly, it's the best income opportunity in the world. And number two, Renatus is for everybody. It's everybody in the world. We have languages. We have translated to Spanish with the subtitles. So it is amazing what we have in our hands. When we want to reach out to other people and be in that circle of influence. So the circle of influence starts with you, then your immediate family, then your close friends, your acquaintance, and the strangers. All those strangers. And you know that we always said, okay, we have the warm market and cold market. So those strangers are cold market, yes. But let's see how we're going to transport that cold into warm. That's the beauty of this, that you're going to start influence all of them. You, your family, your friends, your acquaintance, your strangers, everybody. How we can do that? So how are we going to increase our influence? Definitely we need to start putting ourselves in a better position online. When we're doing we're going to start posting more, because we're going to reach out those strangers. And we are now in a position that, oh my goodness, I'm here in these four walls. I can't even get out of this house. So you have to start being more creative and start saying, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to start posting things online, posting in between my family, my friends, my everything that you can post. It will be attracting people because you don't want to be like so noisy and say, oh, look at what I have here. That's not the point. The point is to start creating an intention, how I'm going to affect and influence those people that are in my circle of influence. I'm going to create an intention that I'm going to contact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 10 people every day. You put that intention in the world. You put it on, write it down in your journal and said, okay, my intention today is to at least invite one person, at least invite two. If you are afraid, just start with little numbers. If you are more experienced, start with bigger numbers, 10, 20, 30 a day or something. The other day I made like 30, 40 calls a day in one day. So what is that intention? And how are you gonna do that call? And then these are like 5 different eyes. So, and then you're gonna start interacting with people. So you're gonna put that intention out there, but you're gonna start that interaction. How I'm gonna interact? We don't have any other way. We don't have the 3-food rule anymore because I cannot even go to the store. And it was really sad. The other day I went to the store and everybody is like looking forward, no watching anybody, like making sure that the shopping cart is at the distance. I felt like, oh my goodness, this is very sad. But that's where we live in. This is the new norm. And because it's the new norm, we're going to start making adjustments and we're going to interact with people differently. So like right now, you are on the other side of the camera, but I'm interacting with you. So now you're going to start finding the way to interact. The other day I have my grandson's birthday. So we all connected into Zoom and we have a birthday party. We all sing. So I have all my, well, except one, all my 8 kids. No, I was missing 2 grandkids. So I had all of them in the camera. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can help you and hold you through the camera. But that's a different type of interaction, but you have to become accustomed to this new norm. It's the new norm, okay? And I don't think we're gonna go back to where we were before. So this whole pandemic is changing the world and it's going to be different. So just get accustomed to start interacting through the media, through the social media, and so on. Then we're going to start inspiring. It's not like I'm going to contact, hey, can you come to my meeting? You haven't talked to this person in a long time. You haven't met this person yet. So it's like you're not going in a blind date and said, hey, can you marry me? Can you imagine? No, if you are in the circle of influence, if you have your immediate family, your close friends, and then your acquaintance and those strangers, you're not going to go to a stranger and say, imagine if you send a text to a stranger because they put a like and you don't know them, hey, can you come to my meeting? That's like taking somebody on a date and say, would you marry me? You know, that's not appropriate. So you're going to start inspiring that person, starting to start a communication with them, convert that cold into warm market. Why? Because that's how you build trust. And when you build trust, then they can follow you. Okay, you are a leader. Remember, you are a leader. And then the next I is invest. You're going to invest in that person. You don't have to spend money. It's invest time and effort into creating a relationship. Creating a relationship. The other day I was being okay. I had this uncle who I didn't see him for a long time because this is what happened for many years ago in '87. Actually, my grandma died from my mother's side. And she adopted this boy who was 8 years old when she adopted him, but she passed away really after. So basically, this boy went with one of my uncles, and from there, he went back to the system and so on. And my grandma had this boy since he was like 3 months or something, that because she was doing foster care. And I didn't know any more about him. I knew of him, but I never contacted him again. By law, he's my uncle because my grandma adopted him. But what happened through social media and everything, one day I entered my uncle's friends and I saw him and I asked for friendship. Okay, so I've been liking his comment, liking him, and commenting on his posting. He's doing a keto diet, so I'm kind of commenting and so on, building that relationship again, investing time on the relationship first. Then from there, I was able to invite him to the meeting. So he came to the meeting last Thursday. This Thursday, this week, then we have a one-on-one. And we were on the phone and I was able to even talk to him about the locator. It was an amazing call, but I'm building, investing in that relationship. And then tonight he's coming back to the meeting online and he's interested. I sent him all the information I could. So I built that. I started with the intention when I started to contact him online several months ago, not the first day. I wasn't like, come to my meeting. The first time that I friend him online, it was with an intention. Yes, my goal is to bring him to a meeting because this is what I do. But at first, I need to cultivate that relationship first. Then I started to interact with him. I inspired him until I invest time with him now. I'm investing now my time to get him to understand this is a good thing. And it's great. And I hope that this end up in Excel. But basically, it makes me feel better that I can help him. He's a great guy. He's awesome and he's very into businesses. So most likely this is going to convert into a sale. But right now I'm just spending time because remember what always Bob said, love the people, use the money. Don't use the people and love the money. Okay. So love the people. You're going to start influence these people, inspiring them and investing time on people. Then you're going to invite them. So these are the five eyes. Five eyes. We only have 7 eyes, but this is 5 eyes and how you're going to increase influence. Okay, and within all those circles of sphere of circle of influence. Okay, so you're going to have an intention. You're going to interact. You're going to inspire. You're going to invest and invite. That's how we go. So basically, leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Leadership is influence, equal influence. And let's open up this for question and answer, because I know some of you have questions on how you're going to start contacting, and I'm going to get into that. So if you come into unmute your microphone and let me know what really is inspiring you to do this business, how are you meeting the people now that you are online. Tell me more, guys. Let's get interact here. And I'm glad to see Sandra in the line and Tyrone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Who's this?
It's Sandra from South Florida. Wanda,
Sandra.
God bless you. How are you?
Yes. How are you? Good to hear you.
Great. I'm great. So I have been, I've never put together this big list that everybody keeps saying, make your list, make your list. And I know I've already got some contacts that I want to send out and invite for this Super Saturday on Saturday that Scott's doing. But I have a huge database that's got a lot of old names in it. And I'm trying to figure out what's the best way for me to, I can't call them all, there's too many, but I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out how can I put enough of an email together that interests them in the fact that I'm doing this, and then maybe have them get on the call Saturday. I don't want to give them so much information and scare them away, but and
Sure.
because they may not be interested in real estate, but then I got to figure out how much I tell them about profits, and so I would love your opinion, on how I can mix up the intro and the Helios Super Saturday with coming out to somebody that hasn't heard from me forever and a day.
Great question, Sandra. Great question. Basically, remember, let me see if I can go back here to this other slide. And this is the order that I want you to follow. Um, if there are people, there are your acquaintances, there are people who you haven't seen in a while.
They're
Don't
past
just,
clients. Most of them are past clients, or I met them at a networking event.
okay, but you don't, oops, how do I go back? You don't want to just kind of jump them like, oh, let me have a day with you, and you start jumping the gun, You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do that.
Right.
What you want is to actually start interacting with them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to start interaction with them. You don't want to overwhelm them, because it's like you have a blind folder and there's a lot of noise around there. So they go, okay, at this time, people are asleep, okay? You guess, your leads are asleep. Your prospects, actually, that you don't convert them into leads until they really have a conversation or they express interest. So at the beginning, they're prospects. You have that list of prospects, possible guests, possible leads, and they are sleeping. Imagine that they're sleeping. And first, you're going to start knocking the door. How do you knock the door? You begin that interaction. You begin to inspire them. And then you start investing a little bit of time with them. I just have one of my friends from my old work. She started to tell me, oh, I got my 2 weeks notice. And I think for this last past week, we've been texting back and forth and how she's doing, and she's working on the airplane, like in the airplane business, and so I'm not like, hey, you're quitting, come to my business. I cannot do that. I need to start inspire her first, and begin the interaction with her first. I will get to the point to invite her, but not yet. So
Mm-hmm.
if I use this, how I'm going to increase my influence, I set my intention. Yes, when she sent me the first text by courtesy, because she's an acquaintance, she's not a close friend. But it's an acquaintance that, yeah, we spend a lot of time when we were working together. We spend a lot of time sharing things from work, right? So she has a level of confidence and trust in me, but I'm not going to invite her immediately, because that
Mm-hmm.
sounds, how do you feel if I, hey, Sandra, you quit your job, can you come do me, you don't know your plans, I don't know your plans or anything, so it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't feel good, right? Because it
Right.
feels like you're pushy, you just, so you just want to filter them through a funnel of setting the intention. My ultimate goal with my friend, my acquaintance, she's an acquaintance from work, is to invite her to a meeting, but we started the conversation, we started the interaction. She began the interaction with me, so I'm like, oh, I forgot her. She's on my list, but I have a final intention. Like, I have a little agenda, right? That doesn't mean that I'm not doing this sincerely. I'm putting on my effort. I'm going to inspire her. We've been talking about another coworker who needs to put her 2 weeks notice, but she's afraid on putting it, and things like that. But I'm inspiring them and gaining the trust and so on, investing time in a conversation, in a relationship before I invite them. So that whole list that you have, I would very, very careful divide it into the circle of influence. How is that circle? Are they closer or only acquaintance or strangers? And then from there, you start working in this direction with the 5 eyes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I can put different messages into different
Yes.
groups, you know,
Yes.
so that it just, you know, hi, I haven't seen you in such a long time. I
Yes.
just wanted to see how you're doing and let you know what I'm doing and
Yes.
blah, 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 and go from there. And
Yes.
so I'm gonna take the time to go through my list and make some different groups. And I'm gonna use your separations of strangers, acquaintances, and you know, I mean, they're not really strangers, but they may not even recognize my married name. So now I have to, you know, let them know I got married. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Okay.
And the thing is here, and the other day, you know, I was kind of pondering into this. Sometimes we are so desperate because we need money, and I'm there. Everybody's there. Everybody needs money, but so we want to rush through the process. But we are not in a race. We are in a, how do you say it in English? It's not a race. It's
a journey. It's a journey.
It's a journey. There's another word that I'm looking for, like a sprint.
Sprint.
Sprint. So this is not a race. It's a sprint. Yes. So we want to stay in this row. We want to, you know, build it, because you're building. Remember that you sign up somebody, you want to be related to that person forever, because Renato is here to stay. He is forever, right? We are students in Renato Students Forever. It's a lifetime membership. It's a lifetime education that we have. So you don't want to enroll somebody to, okay, I got my $10,000 from this person, I got my $2,000 from this person. No, you want to create that bond in your team and create a real team that they still with you. And that is something that I made a big mistake before, because when I started, I was just signing people, and it was awesome, but I feel like I didn't build a lot of connections. I have some, but not all. And now I'm going back and trying to amend that mistake and trying to rebuild that connection. I'm going back to people who bought an education package like a few years ago. They're not even ICM anymore, and I'm trying to reconnect with them to build that, right? So you don't want that to happen to your team. You want to create a strong team. Maybe going slower and stronger is better than faster and weak, if that makes sense. So put your intention out there. And another thing that I'm doing with some of the coaches and groups that I'm participating in right now for personal development is like, you need to know your why really clear. What do you want? What do you want? So I put an amount there. I'm like, oh, 100. If Nate Lambert did 100,000 a month, 143 a month, I can do it, right? Anybody can do it. If he did it, I can do it. So I have my amount. Okay, I want to do $100,000 a month. But I started asking myself, that's really what I want? I need it. I need the money. Don't take me wrong. But is that really what I want? No. What I really want, so I need to clarify that vision, that goal, that target. I need to clarify it. What I really desire is to help more people. So if I forget about the amount and I start helping more people, setting my intention, interacting with people, inspiring people, investing in them, and inviting them, after all, to the meetings, and inviting, then I'm going to influence more people, and eventually I get my target on the money. So yes, you can put it in your vision board. You're going to do this by this month. or by a specific date, that is very, very good, because your brain is going to react to that, and it's going to adapt and expand your comfort zone into what you're going to accomplish. Because first, let me tell you, I put $100,000 a month, and it's like, oh, that's impossible, because I didn't have any evidence in my brain, in my subconscious level, that that is possible. But now, like Lambert did it, so my brain is recalculating, somebody did it. So if this person did it, then I can do it too, right? And you expand that comfort zone in within, and that's how you begin. So at first, I know we all are in need of having money. I know that. I'm there. I'm with you. But we need to plan for the long run, not for this moment, because otherwise you're going to burn a lot of bridges. So do it wisely. That's why I think I was inspired to go over this with you guys this morning, because I'm like, I don't want to burn bridges. I don't want to burn relationships. I want to cultivate them. I want to expand that circle of influence around everybody, from my family, inspiring them, showing them that I'm doing well. And once they see that I'm doing well, then they can be converted. But the interaction and the influence and the inspiration that I'm giving to myself first, my close family, my immediate family, my close friends, my inner circle, my acquaintance, and then the strangers. And to the strangers, I cannot go to the strangers. I cannot go and just jump and invite.
But I can be more, I don't want to use the word aggressive, but I can be more open and more enthusiastic with people I already know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, inspiration and inspiring. Yeah, you have to put that energy. You need to be excited about what you have. So most of the time, what I talk is about what I'm doing. Oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and people, oh, wow, if you do that, I can do it. And then they're interested. I have, in 3 years, I have probably sell maybe 25 personal, not the ones that roll over to me. And those personals, they have been contacting me. All except the first few sales to become 5-star, the other ones, they contact me because they saw me online doing what I do, and they wanted to do the same. So that's how I inspire them. And let me see, I'm gonna check. Thank you, Sandra, for your question that brought a lot of insight. I'm gonna check this chat. Let's see, great idea, thank you. Kelly, I don't have my glasses. If you see any questions, Kelly, if you can help me, if you're there. Oh, if anybody, okay.
Someone mentioned, how about interviewing your top 25 leads using the Drive system to see how you can serve their current needs?
Oh, awesome. That's a perfect question. I love Drive. Drive is my, I am to the point that I know Drive so well that I don't, it's kind of in my brain. The other day I was looking at a show or something, and I'm like, let me see. This person is a director validator. This person is this person is that. So it's just awesome because I can tell what they are for what they are speaking and for what they are doing. And you need to know the Drive very well, very well. I, with my uncle, this adopted uncle, I gave him the cards because I don't know him. I haven't talked to him. I'm like, the conversation that we were on the phone, it was like, okay, I cannot get it yet for what we were talking. And I sent him, I said, okay, let me send this by text. And I have the screenshot with the cards, and then he is relator intellectual. And I think that he has, because he has 3 intellectuals and 3 executive. And then I said, from those 2, which one are you cannot live without it? He has 3 words on intellectual, 3 words on in executive. And I said, from those 2 cards, which one you cannot live without it? And he decided that he cannot live without winning. Oh, so he's an executive. So from there, I'm like, okay, he says relator, executive. In relator, he has all 7 words, make him feel important. So from relator, executive. And my conversation immediately started to switch a little bit. Also, you know, we have over here a community, nationwide community. Now that we are, and you can feel, I can feel it in his voice, how he light up in the conversation. It was amazing, even on the phone without even looking at him. And he's like, oh, yeah, and I'm like talking about this nationwide community, and we just met in 3 days, nationals, and we were all over the nation just listening to this. And he was like, oh, really? And he was interested in my awards and stuff like that, but it wasn't as much as when I started talking about the community. So in your cards, and I have my cards right in my purse, but in your cards, you're just going to, what I normally do is like, okay, take this and mark the cards. There are 7 words in each card, and mark the ones that make you feel important, the words that make you feel important. And again, I always stress, it's not what is important to you, but what makes you feel important. Because in my case, I'm a director validator. So family is important to me, but my family doesn't make me feel important. It's different, okay? Doesn't make me feel important. I love my daughters to death. I love my grandkids to death, but they don't make me feel important. I feel important when I'm over here performing. I feel important when I'm dressed up. I feel important when I get awards. That's what makes me feel important. When I'm traveling around the world, that makes me feel important. You see the difference? I love God, and it's my center, it's everything. But church and stuff, it doesn't make me feel important. I go because I have some belief and have some values and so on, and I want to follow something. But I doesn't make me feel important, you know, it's different. But it's still important to me, but it doesn't make me feel. And that's what you need to start looking and explain to your guests that way. I hope that covers the question. It's amazing. You need to learn and if you want, I can prepare another training for Drive. I love Drive. I use it all the time. Like I have a better relationship, and honestly, I did my one-on-one with Woody, and through the one-on-one coaching for $10,000 is more. He explained more in deep level all of these. So I was able to understand myself. Remember that your circle of influence are with you. Okay, you are the center. You are the center of the influence that you're going to have. So if you don't start building yourself, if you don't start learning who you are and learning who are the people in your front line, your immediate family and your immediate soulmates, your influence and your inspiration is not going to be as much as if you start learning who you are. So that's really, really, really important. Any other question out there, Keely?
Yes.
Yes.
How long do you typically cultivate relationships before an invitation?
It all depends, because when you start cultivating the relationship and you see the conversation going, how the conversation are going, so every individual is different. I have people who are never invited yet, but they still on my list. But there are some people that I invite a little faster, because you're gonna start testing their level of understanding and where they at. Some people are ready and able to do it immediately, but some people can. And you know that you still, I'm always, approaching and everything, and I may invite, but not aggressively or anything like that. So it's just one of those things that you have to test depending on where they're at. Any other questions?
I saw Amy come off mute. Amy, did you have a question?
Okay. So normally, that these meetings we were like 30 minutes because that's how Christian Sadler was doing it. And then Kelly and I discussed it, okay, we're going to have the whole hour. But my PID meeting is right after this one and I need to be prepared. So I always want to end like 5 minutes before. So we still have a few more minutes, like 6 minutes with conversation. And what is something that is in your mind on See the People? Because this conversation was about how we're going to increase our circle of influence and start seeing the people. So
Wanda,
Wanda,
to make
I have a quick
my
question.
comment really quick.
yes,
I wrote on the comment board, "Ba miao zhu zhang." That is a Chinese idiom that
okay.
perfectly encapsulates your teaching from today. In ancient China, there was a farmer, and he wasn't a very wise man. He ended up taking his rice field, and he planted, and he wasn't patient enough to cultivate it, and he ended up pulling every single one of the sprouts up just a few inches to try and help them along. And the next day, all of his sprouts had died. And I think when we're cultivating relationships, it's very similar to that if we're not careful. We need to make sure that we are actually doing what's best for the people, not what's best for us. Because when we do the things that are just best for us, we end up, in a sense, pulling out that growth, and we lose the opportunity to cultivate that relationship because it dies.
Yes.
So I wanted to just clarify that, so it wasn't just an obscure thing that I wrote.
Thank you, Ringan. This is awesome. And that brings me to a great story. Ringan is one of my sales, my direct sales. And I met him through his mother. So I went to this event and his mother was there. And we connected really nicely because she lost her son, I lost my son, and we connected, okay? We were in a retreat in a cabin, beautiful place. We were playing pool, and we stayed up like until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Awesome. It was great. We had a great connection when we met. And I just talked about what I did, and she talked about what she did. I didn't necessarily invite her. I collected her information though. Let's exchange phone numbers and so on. But eventually we cultivated that relationship, and she said, oh, my son will be perfect for what you do. It wasn't for her, but it was for her son. The same thing happened with Eloy. So, and then bring on in here now. And this is a beautiful soul. I love Brigham so much, and her kids and her brand new baby, all of that is just amazing. And I don't see him now very often because I'm in Puerto Rico, but I follow him online, and I can, say hi or so online. And I keep cultivating that relationship because I want him to be part of my team forever. So it's not like I just sold something. No, I'm investing time on him and his family. I care for him. I care for his mother, who has, I don't know if I should say this now, Brigham, but who is sick. And it just touched my heart when I saw that online, because I really built a relationship with his mother. And
Hey, Wanda, I have a question.
Yes.
This is Check out in Nebraska. Transitioning to Renatus when you're having a conversation with someone. You got any tips on that?
I building the relationship, right? Like, let's go back to how you call it, Bringham's mother. So with Bringham's mother, I just explain, what I do. I just talk about what I do, because when you remember, I don't know if you know form. So you talk about family. When you meet somebody, you talk about your family, you talk about your recreation, your occupation, and your money. Okay, so I go through that and I build a wrap-up person with them. So they eventually, I don't hire Renatos. I don't hire Renatos. Yesterday, when I was listening to Dane, he said, don't put on your profile Renatos. I do. And that's probably what I got the award of the Defender Award this year, because I do defend Renatos. And I don't care if people want to research Renatos. So everybody have different opinions on that. In my profile, I said, I am an independent contractor marketing for Renatos. It's on my profile and I'm not gonna take it away. If people want to look at it, perfect. If that brings me more guests, perfect. If it doesn't, if it decreases the influence, perfect. Because I defend what I believe and I'm not afraid to say it. It's like I'm not afraid to say it, my religions and stuff like that. So there's some stands that you keep, and I say it. I just, I have an experience. The other day I posted, let's play. Who wants to work from home, or who wants to create a business from home? Something like that. And two people really posted and liked it. And one is a friend from Ecuador, which is awesome because we are going national. We are international now, and I can talk to her about salarios and profits. The other one is local in Utah. So he called me up and we talk on the phone, and I'm like, okay, so I recruit people for this school, for a school. And this is a business curriculum that you can learn and how to create your own business or how to improve your own business. If you're serious about it, I'll give you more information. I don't know how he connected the two. That, well, maybe he looked it up on my profile, and he said, if this is Renato's, I said, well, it's not really Renato's book, it's Renato's. It's like a sub company of Renatos, what I'm offering to you, which is you are from Peru and I want you to kind of promote this in Peru. That was my conversation. He said, okay, my ex-wife, I just got divorced, but my ex-wife is in Renato, so no, thank you, no, thank you. Okay, perfect. I didn't feel bad about it because if he say no, it's his loss, it's not mine. So it's okay. Let's go to the next one. So I do say Renatos a lot. And this came to my mind. Last leadership retreat, I went and took this assignment and I asked every PAC member, because I'm a PID member and my ultimate goal is obviously to be a PAC member. So I went through all the PAC members and said, what would you tell me and what is your one thing that you will recommend me to do? And Scott Rose said this, Wanda, I'm where I'm at because I said Renatos the most. I'm like, oh, so I want to say Renatos a lot too. And that's one of the things that I post in my mind, that I would say Renatos, I don't hide it. Did that answer your question? Okay, guys, any other question or anything? Are you still there with me?
Somebody mentioned, can you show the comp plan with profits? I know we don't have time for that, but that was a request.
No, I will. I'm still processing and I'm still learning it. So I'm like, okay, my napkin presentation doesn't work anymore, but I will adjust it. But I'm still kind of processing everything. This week, I've been going through every presentation that I have possibly can attend, just to learn and absorb everything. I'm learning about Helios. That's something else, Sandra, that Helios is out there. You just start the campaigns and that runs so beautifully. I am just so excited about everything that we have in our hands now. We have now a lot of tools. We have a great knowledge and education. Oh my goodness, I haven't been able to jump into Prophets yet. I bought it, but I haven't even jumped into it because I have been absorbing. I had in my leads in Helios 370 people, and I need to reactivate those campaigns. So I spend most of my time this week on doing that, just to get it all organized. And while I was kind of having a little anxiety, like, oh my goodness, I need to make money, I need to sell something, and my dad, I go to this living room and my dad, have you make an order or anything? I'm like, no, this is
Hey, Wanda.
because, yes. So
Scott Rowe
yes.
and Nancy Rowe are covering the comp plan today at 10 o'clock. And also in the morning at 7 a.m., they're covering Helios and the comp plan on their team call at 7 a.m. our time.
Awesome, thank you so much. And yeah, and I learned it, and I've been listening to Scott a lot, and I am trying to meet with Michael, because everybody will be understanding that in different ways and explaining in different ways. So I kind of understand, but I want to condense it to my simple way. And that's when I was a teacher, that's kind of one of my gifts. I can make a complex concept into a very simple concept, and that's why I want to make it into my napkin again and show it to you. So it's coming, it's on my list to do in the next few weeks. And well, guys, it's time for me to break away because I need to jump into my pit meeting.
Thank you, Wanda.
Thank you. I love you all. Thank you so much. And you guys are my circle of influence. You are part of me. You are not only my acquaintance, you are my closest friend. You're part of my family.
Thank you so much, Wanda.
So, thank you. I love you all.
Thank you very much.
You. Okay. Good day. Make it happen.
Have a great time over there in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, thanks. Well, close to my house.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Wanda. Bye-bye.